The South African grain industry is facing a changing environment. While dealing with climatic impact, we have to carefully navigate our way through a period of political and economic uncertainty.
Dit is so asof hier so stilletjies in 2015 'n paar dinge gebeur het wat maak asof hier 'n era afgesluit het. En ek praat nou van goed soos die klimaat wat verander het en wat regtig hierdie impak kom maak het soos wat ons nou hierdie afgelope jaar ervaar het. Maar dit nie net een spesifieke provinsie is nie, maar 'n baie breër area. Die gevoel wat ons begin kry van politieke inmenging en beheer wat weer half terugkom en ons het gesien hoe ons wisselkoers baie verswak het en ons ekonomiese groei is stadiger en dis is alles goed wat nou vir ons in 'n ander bedeling sit. Hoe gaan ons hier deurkom? En die omgewing waarin ons gaan graan produseer in die toekoms is 'n bietjie anderster as wat ons gehad het en nou moet ons onsself posisioneer en sê wat gaan die boer nodig hê om hier in hierdie ding nog steeds volhoubaar en winsgewend te bly? En die spasie lyk vir ons of wat bietjie effens kleiner, gedrukker is en dis waar ons nou aanpassings moet maak binne die organisasie.
In the meantime, we need to find immediate solutions to counter the ripple effect of the drought. It is, after all, an issue affecting everyone.
We have in the past confronted the drought, and the only way to address this issue is by closing ranks, to minimize the demise of the farming community, because as we will find out in the future, the farming community, however resilient they may be, they are extremely courageous people. All they need to be afforded is an opportunity to pay back the money that they owe. It is an imperative that the financial institutions, within the ambit of the Credit Act, try and find ways and means to make this possible. By extending the loans over a longer term, by consolidating loans. And this is the greatest challenge that we face.
Along with this, a new look at crop insurance is needed for longer-term stability of the industry.
Deel van die droogteplan wat ons nou by die regering gaan indien, is om te sê, maar kan die staat nie vir ons help met 'n oesversekeringsprogram nie. Dit raak baie duur, die risiko raak groot, die privaat sektor is nie altyd daar nie, en ons sal moet sien hoe die staat hieroor gaan reageer. Daar's baie goeie voorbeelde in Amerika en Kanada van hierdie tipe produk, en ons is baie positief daaroor dat ons die regering moet kry, veral nou met die droogte, het hulle gesien wat is die impak as 'n mens nie so iets het nie.
At the end of the day, it is far cheaper to address the problems and the socio-economic consequences of these droughts by interventions within the rural communities rather than let the people urbanize, because that in itself brings massive pressures on the stressed situations of the cities already.
Amidst difficult economic times and job scarcity, many consumers are not able to absorb the price hikes caused by imports. Maize is now being imported at around 3,000 Rand per ton more than what local producers received last year.
The reality is that last year, the maize prices were trading at 2,200 Rand for white maize. Today, they are at 5,200 Rand. The difference being is that the last year's prices were derived of export parity, and today's prices are derived on import parity.
The impact of the drought has again illustrated the importance of food security over political agendas.
Of critical importance is the insecurities that the political rhetoric have brought to bear on the agricultural sector as to the future ownership of land. Land in itself is the cornerstone of food security, and the value of land, that is the asset that is afforded to financial institutions and agribusinesses as the security for the production credit that they garner for the production of commodities in South Africa. So any instability will impact on the ability for South Africa's agricultural sector to produce this quality, cheap food that we've become so used to in South Africa.
The farmers again have to focus back on the farm. Sustainability is the key word here. And maybe in the past we took big steps and strides to move into this free market dispensation. And maybe we're now going to see smaller increments more intensive maybe in terms of, issues like data science coming in to help farmers to be sustainable in this new environment.
In order to assist farmers with sustainable production, Grain SA places a lot of emphasis on research.
Now, Grain South Africa have made huge investments into coordinating and directing research in the new dispensation. Part of our leadership responsibility is to get the best researchers in the country together in consortiums to get the results that the farmer needs to go forward in this country.
Specific attention is given to wheat, as this industry has been under pressure for many years.
Ja, ek dink ons is vir die afgelope 2 jaar nou voluit besig om die koringbedryf om te draai en ons het gesien as ons dit nie gaan regkry nie, gaan die koringbedryf dit nie maak nie. Die hele fokus van navorsing, van kom ons sê al die pre-breeding wat ons doen, die vrystellingskriteria, alles is daarop gefokus dat ons nou ons opbrengs opkry. Dit gaan nie om die kwaliteit weg te gooi nie, maar ons kan nie meer dat kwaliteit ons opbrengs so terughou dat ons op die ouend nie meer winsgewend is nie. Deel van hierdie pakket van die omdraai strategie is dan nou, kom ons sê die eindpunt tantieme of die endpoint royalties soos ons daarvan praat, om seker te maak dat die teelers wat die regte kultivars het en die beste resultate vir ons lewer, dat ons hulle beloon vir daai werk wat hulle doen, sodat daai mark kan vinniger groei en dat ons beter en meer kultivars kan kry.
To bring about significant progress across the board, strategic partnerships are of great value.
We have entered into an agreement with government and the job funds to help the subsistence farmers to get to a commercial yield. And that was a new partnership that is being signed up for 4 years. We've got recapitalization programs with government. A new development was the funds that we got from the Department of Science and Technology with regards to the improvement of research, especially in the wheat industry, to get a turnaround there. And there's some new funds coming for soya beans. I think we need to look at the heat-tolerant varieties in maize for the future. Those are all coming from those partnerships with government specifically. If we go back to our own input providers, I think in this new era, we will get into a new dispensation with them, and not just as an input provider or a service provider, but also as a partner in taking agriculture forward and making sure that the sustainability of our farmers are secured.
In this way, the investment of the private sector in our farmer development program has delivered great results and wonderful surprises. In addition to great progress in terms of establishing independent farmers, 2015 saw Grain SA team up with Momentum to offer group benefit schemes for farm workers.
Daar's ook 'n klomp werk wat ons saam met Agri SA doen om seker te maak dat ons hierdie sosiale akkoord kan aangaan en kan kyk wat is daar wat ons kan doen om ons plaaswerkers op 'n beter voet te plaas. 2015 was 'n moeilike landboujaar, maar Graan Suid-Afrika het met 'n positiewe bedryfswins geëindig. Ons het 'n skoon audit gekry en in hierdie afgelope jaar het ons ook die gebou verkoop in Botawil wat dan natuurlik vir ons 'n ekstra inkomste gegee het.
Looking back, 2015 sure left us with both achievement and challenge.
Ek het so in die begin van die jaar deur die land gery toe dit so bitterlik droog was en dis amper asof 'n mens 'n reis onderneem het wat jou hart gebreek het as jy nou al hierdie goed sien en jy kyk hoe stikkend die platteland lyk en die probleme wat daar is. En tog dink ek as ons as produsente weer reflekteer daaroor en sê maar die Here het vir ons gedra hierdeur en die Here het in die verlede dit gedoen en kom ons vat hom op sy beloftes en laat ons die bedryf vorentoe vat en seker maak hier's genoeg kos in die land.
And as our chairman, Louw Steytler, prepares to hand over the reins, we're reminded of his tremendous dedication to the industry and ultimate trust in the Constitution of South Africa.
Ons sal vir Louw onthou hierdie weerklank van staan op die grondwet van die land, weet sorg dat julle by die boere op die grond uitkom en sê groete vir almal by die huis.
I've seen the most unbelievable things from the farming community across the colour line. And that gives me such immense hope. Reasonable people, people that understand the economics of agriculture, the massive challenges of commodity production in our country, our responsibility to civil society to see to it that by virtue of our production there's political stability in this beautiful country. I've seen it all and it's magnificent.